Welcome to the Travel Squad podcast, where adventure meets inspiration. We're your hosts. I'm Brittany.
I'm Kim.
And I'm Jamal. Together we explore international destinations, hike epic national parks, and share unforgettable travel experiences with you, one passport stamp at a time.
Our mission is to inspire you to travel by showing you how you can make it work no matter your budget, schedule, or experience level.
We bring you along so that you can laugh, get excited, and start planning your own trip.
So grab your ticket and your passport.
And don't forget your travel insurance.
And get ready to embark on a new adventure with us around the globe.
Hey Squaddies! Travel Squad Podcast is back with Just the Tip, our Friday mini episode series where we give you quick travel stories, hacks, and recommendations to set you off into the weekend right.
Today is Brittany's 35th birthday. I know it's not very custom or polite to say a girl's age, but we're just going to say it. The big 35 for Brittany. Happy birthday, Brittany.
Happy birthday!
Thank you, guys. But I think you meant 25.
25, yes. My mistake. 25 is the age that I actually meant. And in this week's episode, we're going to do something that we did in the past for my birthday, which is ask the birthday person, in this case, this week, Brittany, questions. And I really love these episodes where we get asked questions, shoot from the hip, really impromptu. Brittany doesn't even know what's coming. So I'm sure some of these will be hard-hitting. Some of them will be lighthearted and fun. We will see. But what better way to celebrate Brittany's 25th birthday than to shoot a bunch of questions her way?
I'm a little nervous for this questions interview.
You should be. You should be very, very nervous.
I have a hard-hitting one right off the bat. So just be ready for that one, Brittany.
I'm waiting.
Well, I thought Kim was going to go first. Okay, so I will go. What is your biggest travel pet peeve when we're all traveling as a squad?
Ooh.
Oh, man. So it used to be the shower rotation.
Yeah, the infamous shower rotation.
So, when we traveled back in the day, when we first started this podcast, we were traveling like 4 to a room. And Jamal, not really, but the girls, we had to develop a shower rotation because we had to figure out whose turn it was to shower first. And, with 3 girls that you're traveling with, everyone has to do their hair. Everyone has to wash their hair. You have to put on makeup. So bathroom space, mirror space is very limited. And I just thought things should be a little bit more fair. So we were put on a shower rotation.
And now we're not living in the past. What is your current?
My current pet peeve? When we're all traveling together, I don't know that I have one. I feel like we have pretty good vibes when we're together. We do bicker back and forth here and there occasionally. I just feel like we have different styles of travel as we get older. And so sometimes our communication skills, we don't say all of our ideas up front. And so then someone says like, well, what about this? And then someone says, but what about that? But if we had just communicated everything up front, like we could have just figured it out from the beginning. So that's probably my biggest one right now.
Okay.
I really thought there was going to be a little bit more drama to it than that. Brittany's probably being a little PC, doesn't want to get into it for the squad.
We're just hunky-dory over here.
What? Well, tell me, what is yours? I know it's
this is your question episode.
Okay, so Jamal, what did you think it was going to be? Maybe I could expand.
I don't know. Every once in a while you like to rag on me when you can. I guess it's just because we're married. It's the fun thing to do. I like to rag on you when I can also. So I thought it was maybe going to be something on me. But, we've had episodes before in the past where we talk about how to travel as a group. And we're giving advice because we are very good at traveling as a group. So there's probably are the few things that come up, but nothing major. It was the shower rotation, right? If anything that I could think of top of mind would probably just be the terribleness of when you're with a group of people really trying to figure out what it is that you want to eat, because sometimes that's like really annoying. But yeah. I don't know if I was expecting something dicey, but I thought you could maybe pull something out that you've just kept to yourself, but that clearly wasn't the case.
I really don't.
Jamal wants a fight.
I don't want to fight. I just want to know the deets and the juicy gossip if there is any.
Well, you got what I got.
Okay.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See detail.
This episode is brought to you by United Airlines. When you want to make the most of your vacation, book with United. They're an airline that cares about your travels as much as you do. United is transforming the flying experience with Bluetooth connectivity, screens, power at every seat, and bigger overhead bins to help fit everyone's bag. And with their app, you can skip the bag check line, get live updates, and more. Change the way you fly. Book your next trip today at united.com.
Ah yes, the magnificent Trolley Sourbright Crawler, also known as Trollicus brightolus. The worm's captivating neon colour makes it an easy gummy prey.
Trolley!
It's a surprisingly sour, invitingly chewy, staggeringly snackable species unlike anything else found on this planet.
Eat me!
Delicious. Visit Trolley.com to shop now.
Trolley, eat me!
All right. Brittany, would you rather take a couple trip or a girls trip?
Ooh, that is so hard. I mean, I am loyal to Jamal, so I'm going to have to pick a couples trip because
you won this one.
Can be romantic. And Jamal is pretty romantic. He always says, I don't enjoy romance. And so, but I feel like I do really appreciate a couples trip. It really pulls us away from our everyday lives. We get to know each other, spend time with each other, do a lot of the things that we love. And so I can't go wrong with a couples trip. I love a girls trip, but there's usually a little bit more drama with girls trips. Just in general, girls carry a little bit more drama with them. And I'm not like a huge trip person. Like if it's a girls trip, I'm like a 2 to 4 group person, not like a 16 girls deep kind of group trip person. So
yeah, that might be a little too much on a girls trip. Not that I'm a girl and have been on 16 deep, but I can imagine that could be a little dicey.
Yeah, it is.
I know, because you've done it, Kim. I know this. But funny thing about Brittany's answer, she says this. Little did she mention to you guys, in less than 2 weeks' time, she's leaving me behind and going on a girls trip. You guys are going to Napa. You guys did a girls trip earlier this year where I got left behind. Now,
you decided you didn't want to go.
I was going to say, but thank you. I was about to say, in fairness, I didn't really want to go on that, but that's this year, leaving me behind for those girls.
You need
trips.
to do a boys trip.
I try all the time, and then she's like, "You always complain to me that you don't have time when you have time for boys trip," and then we're just
we went to Oktoberfest,
but that wasn't a boys trip. Please.
Couples trip.
Oh my gosh,
yeah, it's not a boys trip. See, look at that. See, look what I get when I try to take a boys trip.
Tijuana a lot with boys, so.
I live right here, so, what are you going to do? Here's a question for you, Brittany. What has been a travel destination that surprised you the most, that you really enjoyed, where you really weren't expecting much out of it? Not that you thought you would have a bad time, but that really took you by surprise.
Well, I want to say the first trip like that was probably China. And I think when we were planning that trip and people were like, oh, where's your next trip? And we said China. People were just looking at me confused and saying, why would you want to go there? And I'm like, I don't know. Seems cool, cheap, all those things. And when we got to China, we loved every second of that trip. Like, that trip was amazing. It was such a good value. Seeing pandas in person, highlight of that trip. Being on the river, seeing Shanghai all lit up. Going and experiencing Shanghai Disney with our new friends, Cash and Ryan at the time, and our squad. That was such a fun day and such a fun way to end the trip. Seeing the terracotta soldiers, wow, that was amazing and such a piece of history. That whole trip took me by surprise.
Something that you didn't mention about China when you were talking about Shanghai Disney was also getting Kim to ride Tron and white knuckling it, because she does not like coasters, but she ended up getting on it too. So China's a good one.
Took you by surprise.
Yes, it really did.
ABC Wednesday.
Y'all complain all day. We want books. We want paper towels in the classroom. Bet you want raises too.
I'm still waiting on the paper towels.
Abbott Elementary returns with a new season.
We asked the district for more after-school programs. They gave us $50 for class pets instead.
Critics cheer. Abbott Elementary continues to be one of the funniest and most beloved shows on TV.
What y'all doing out there?
Taking bribes.
Proud of y'all.
Abbott Elementary. Season premiere Wednesday, 9:30, 8:30 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
With Ring cameras and doorbells, it's easy to keep every fright in sight. See who's there. Keep your scaredy cats company.
Oh, it's okay, sweetie. I'll be home soon.
And protect your crypt from the real monsters.
Oh, come on. The sign says take one.
Find dead simple ways to stay connected right now at ring.com.
Oh, it's such a clutch off-season pickup, Dave.
I was worried we'd bring back the same team.
I meant those blackout motorized shades.
Blinds.com made it crazy affordable to replace our old blinds.
Hard to install?
No, it's easy. I installed these and then got some for my mom. She talked to a design consultant for free and scheduled a professional measure and install.
Hall of Fame son.
They're the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings in the world.
Blinds.com is the GOAT.
Go to Blinds.com for 40% off site-wide. Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Brittanie, you're very goal-oriented. You're an achiever. You like to cross something off on your list. And I know you have a lot of travel goals. So what are some of those?
Ooh, this is a really good question.
Some that you're working on now and others that maybe you haven't even started on yet.
Okay. So we have a goal, and I have a goal to make it to every state. We are 45 out of 50.
Do you have a deadline?
I don't have a deadline, but I would like to do it within the next 2-ish, 3-ish years.
Okay.
The hard part about that is some of the ones that I have left, I specifically want to go in fall. And Jamal is an insurance broker, and he gets real crazy about travel during
girls trip
fall season.
It's my busy time. What do you want me to do?
So I have to like really play that gingerly. Another one is I want to make it to every national park. There are 63 national parks in the U.S., and we just hit off 52 with Black Canyon of the Gunnison. So we have 11 left. Most of them, though, are hard to get to. 8 of them are in Alaska. One of them is American Samoa. And then the last 2 are Isle Royale and Voyageur. So hard to get to national parks. I don't know if I've told you this yet, Kim, but I do want to make it to every country. And I've already calculated that if we do 5 countries a year for like the next 33 years, we'll be able to hit them all.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
33 years. Okay.
She did the math.
Okay.
I did the math. And so we could hit them before I retire, technically, unless, we really retire before 65.
I think you could do it before 33 years because there's a lot of countries you could do on one trip.
I think so too. But I was like, I got to average 5 countries a year at minimum. Those are my current goals right now.
Very nice.
Those are some good goals. As the travel planner, Brittanie, you do a lot of the planning for the most part here. What is a trip that we've gone on that you would change how and what we did now that you know better?
So a past trip that we've done that I planned.
Yeah. And that maybe not the whole thing like, oh, scrap it, I would have done this, but maybe an aspect of that trip that you were just like, okay, now I know better. This is something that would have made it better.
I could think of one.
I don't know. What are you thinking of, Kim?
You can't think of any, Brittanie?
I have to think about things for a while and I have to like ruminate on them. So off the top of my head, I really can't think of one that I would change.
How about Charleston?
Ooh, okay. That brings up a good point.
Touchy subject.
Touchy subject. Our most, I would feel like, criticized aspect on our reviews are people who did not like our breakdown of Charleston. And I feel like, just for those people, if you are still listening, I feel like in that episode we did err on the side of caution that we would do things differently and that we were coming off of a high in Savannah. But Charleston comes to mind.
We should have started in Charleston and ended in Savannah. And I think we would have had a different experience. But sometimes the route just kind of takes you and you don't know. You think like 2 major cities, you're going to have such a great time in both. Kim, you were actually more excited for Charleston than you were Savannah initially. Like, you were like, there's so much to do, so much to see. And then we were kind of let down. So I guess that's a good example of one.
Do the history tour, do things before 5 p.m. when everything closes. Don't go on a Monday, maybe.
Yeah, there was a lot, and we were kind of rushed. Like, it was a road trip that we were taking, so there was a lot to do, a lot of different stops. We should have gotten to Charleston earlier because some of the things that we wanted to do closed at like 5, 6 o'clock. So we were kind of rushed on time. But I'm trying to think of a big trip that maybe I would have done differently. But a lot of our big trips, some of them have been guided, so I can't really change any of that. And some of the other big trips you've planned, Jamal, like you planned Oktoberfest, so couldn't really change that. But I think for this Iceland trip that we just went on in July, I did want to complete the whole ring road, and we didn't complete that. And Jamal kept saying, like, how much time are we really going to spend in Iceland? And in hindsight, we should have just spent the extra time to do the extra days. So maybe that's something that I would have changed.
Lesson learned. Spend more time in Iceland, apparently. Do the ring road.
And, you know, I'm planning some other future trips. We're going to Switzerland next July. I said, I think our trip's going to be 13 days. And he scoffed at me and was like, 13 days? What are we going to do in Switzerland? 13 days. So we'll see how it goes.
All right. Both ends of the spectrum here. Brittanie, what is one of your favorite reviews that you've gotten on the podcast?
So we got one back in June that I really loved, and it was called Best Travel Tips by Far. And they wrote, I've been listening for several years and absolutely love this group. They all bring distinct travel personalities that add to the content that they're giving the listener. I appreciate their quick tips as well as their extended episodes about travel destinations. Love the info they give on national parks. Use much of it for a few trips out west. Also have purchased their podcast course, which helped me launch my own podcast back in April.
Aww.
So I really love this review because it talks about so many different things that we offer. They've been listening for a while, which I love. I hate that when we get reviews, sometimes we get a negative review and they've literally listened to one episode. People get so attached to a place. If they hear their first episode and they don't like it, they already have this negative taste in their mouth. But if they've listened for a while, they can get a feel for like who we are and what we talk about and how we don't hold back on our reviews and what we say. Like, we give our honest opinion. And so I love that they've been listening for a while before they left this review. Amazing that they started their own podcast, because we love when people follow their passions, and that they found that our information was helpful, not only podcast wise, but the information we've given them so that they've done trips out west. So I don't know where they're from, but I'm super glad they've been able to use some of the info that we've provided and inspired a trip to some other destinations.
Really acknowledging everything we're trying to do. That's a beautiful review.
Yes, we'll have to one day talk about all of the negative reviews and kind of laugh them out on the podcast.
Well, there's a lot more good ones than negative ones, no doubt about that. But we have been talking about that as an idea for a podcast episode. So if you guys are interested in it, want us to read the negative reviews and then air our grievances with what these people said, let us know, because we think that would actually be fun, but only want to do it if you guys want to hear it. But I have one final question for you, Brittanie, on my end of things. And I'm curious to know, what's your favorite thing that you've eaten in all of your travels and your least favorite?
Ooh, my favorite thing that I've ever eaten in our travels. This is a really good question. So maybe I'll start with my least favorite thing that I've eaten. And I'm, Filipina, and we were in the Philippines and we ate balut, which is like a fermented, half-developed duck egg that's like hard boiled. And when you bite into it, it's like juicy, and you can feel like the feathers and a little crunch of the embryo.
Ew.
The beak.
And the beak. And I ate my whole egg, but I wouldn't say I really enjoyed it. So that's probably one of the worst things I've eaten.
So you like the larvae in Ecuador more?
Yes. It was awesome. Juicy, and it tasted like a juicy water bug. So, that didn't bother me so much. So that's probably the worst thing I've eaten on my travels. Best thing that I've eaten. That's such a hard one because like every region has such a good like distinct specialty. More recently, I had some cherry stuffed French toast that I can't stop thinking about. But we recently recorded the Door County episode, so that's on my mind.
Not the Joel Rubicon mashed potatoes in Las Vegas.
Joel Rubicon mashed potatoes are amazing, and Jamal does a really good replication. When I think about traveling, I don't think about Vegas because we've gone so much, so that's hard to say. What else have we eaten that's been amazing? I've had some really amazing things in Japan. I had some great mochi while we were out there, specifically at Tokyo Disney that I loved. So
the mochi.
I love the mochi.
That's good. Okay. Wow.
And the stuffed French toast. I mean, I'm a dessert person, so
not the Michelin-starred ramen in Tokyo.
Oh, the
Japan.
Michelin-starred ramen was amazing in Japan as well. Yeah, I did really like that, but it's probably not the most amazing thing I've ever eaten.
I know that I figured this question would be a hard one. I mean, it's really been like, oh man, putting you on the spot, but we got a few of your thoughts.
The tiramisu that we had in Rome, also amazing. I don't think it compares to anything that we had in the US. And the Peking duck in China
was delicious.
It was amazing too. Zana does not like duck anymore, but
a lot of that duck.
She's ducked out.
Do you like the Peking duck in China?
I want to end this episode with looking forward to what is an epic, no price tag attached vacation that you want to take.
No price tag attached. Ooh, I would probably have to say I really want to go to Chile and Patagonia and like really like South America and see a lot of those glaciers, forests, lagoons, all of that stuff. And I've looked at them. They're pretty pricey for what I want to do, spend like 2-3 weeks down there. And I'm such a nature person. I love nature, the outdoors, hiking, exploring, glaciers, lakes, being a part of it. Like I'd want to do on a boat. So I think that would be my best trip.
That's a good one. And you got your nature in there. Very you. And that wraps it up, Brittany. I hope you have the happiest birthday ever. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's Just the Tip.
Make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and follow us on all the socials at Travel Squad Podcast.
And have fun traveling this weekend.
Bye, Squaddies.